It's time for Maggie and the Moms. Sponsored by Tampa General Hospital.
Remember the early days of your relationship? The butterflies, the flirting, the romance and spontaneity? Well, the question that we are answering today, after years of marriage and children, do you still? And I'm going to ask you all to raise your right hands, ladies, and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I don't think it'll be difficult with Stephanie Rodriguez-Neely, a.k.a. Miss Blunt. She is a mother of 5. She's been married how long?
We've been together, at least 20 years?
Okay.
I think married, how old's my 17 years.
17 years.
And we don't really celebrate anniversaries. In my defense, I always forget when our anniversary is, so that's why I have no idea.
Oh, that's hilarious. Danielle Bayard-Jackson, more diplomatic, but a straight shooter nonetheless. She is here to tell the truth. She is a mother of 2. She is a friendship coach. She is an educator. Married how long?
7 years.
7 years of marriage.
She hesitated too, just for the record.
Yeah. I feel like you're very insecure about this.
I am.
You're like a
so
little
bad.
defensive about not
bad.
knowing exactly how many years you were married. Deanna, how long have you been married?
12 years.
12 years.
No hesitation. Ugh.
No, because she
had
did
time
that.
to think
she
of it.
asked you first, and I was like, "Oh, it's coming my way." I was like, "Carry the one."
Okay, I feel better.
Oh, and Deanna has 2 kids. I've been married 23 years, and I have 2 children. So let's get to it. Do you still? Let's see. I have so many good ones. I don't know where to start. Let's start with, remember when you first were dating and when you were newly married, you would do things like, wear cute nighties, or at least make sure your legs were shaved, and you kept up with your appearance, right? You wanted your husband to find you super attractive. Okay, she's already shaking her head. Stephanie, you never did that?
I cleaned up a little, probably more than I do now. I might have put a little more effort, but it's always been a what you see is what you get kind of thing with me.
I like that because he knew.
Yeah, there was no surprises afterwards. He was like, oh, yeah, this is who she's always been.
So I guess you still are that person.
I am. I'll dress up every so often and put on something cute, or I'm in like the nastiest pair of like sweatpants that you can find.
Danielle?
Yeah. I see the benefit of your approach, because if like when you're dating, you're kind of keeping things low key, then you always get to rest in that, right?
See how she's diplomatic.
So trying to
It's a good balance.
manage my business in public, but also, give you something. But I get where you're coming from, but it's also really hard when you're out there and you're trying to put your best self forward. And then you always kind of have that question of, when can you start to relax it? What things can you relax?
Yes.
So it's always kind of a tricky thing.
Deanna, what do you relax 12 years in?
Yeah, I feel like he's seen everything. This kind of ties into what you guys were talking about last week with the giving birth thing.
Once
they see you give birth,
so good.
All bets are off.
Correct.
yeah.
So
They never look at that thing the same way.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever. They need to respect the game.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do.
I think my husband loved me more after that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But, I'm very lucky. He's a guy who prefers me without makeup, who just thinks I'm the most beautiful person to ever walk the earth. But I will say recently, and I told you guys this earlier, we were having one of those state of the marriage conversations, which we make it a point to do. And the general topic was, how do we keep the spark alive? Because we agree that that's a very important thing in marriage. And he said, maybe once in a while, you can not come to bed looking like you do with that t-shirt that you wear every day that literally has holes in it, and those big pants that are falling off you. Like, maybe just once in a while. And I respect that. I'm like, I hear you, babe. I'm sorry. I get it. And so I did a little shopping trip. And it was very awkward going to the register with like these cute little things that I'm gonna hopefully maybe wear.
Come on, let's get candid. Was this PJs or
PJs.
were these?
Where were you shopping?
lingerie?
Where were you shopping?
No. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Dillard's, y'all. No.
She was in Fredericks of Hollywood.
Nothing wrong with other places.
I was thinking of
no
some place
shame in
over
the
off
game.
of Florida Avenue.
Gosh, no. I'm acting horrified like
How
if there's
spicy
something
do
wrong
you
with
want
that.
it?
I don't judge, but no. Even at Dillard's, I was embarrassed with my little like
like a
Lingerie.
matching set.
You're,
like a soft
you're
matching
so
set.
vanilla.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know.
That's sweet.
I know, but and so I'll let you know in private how that goes, ladies. Let's move on to our next one. All right, do you still flirt? Do you still flirt with your husband, Danielle?
The hesitation.
Flirting to you.
That's
Is
a good
flirting
question.
just like, what is flirting to you? So that we're on the same page.
I flirt. So he does it to me way more, but I grab his butt when he's going up the stairs. I cop a feel. I give a caress.
So it's very physical for you. the
Physical,
flirting.
or it's teasing. I'll send a slightly teasing text message. Maybe a photo that's properly, angled just to remind him what I'm working with.
Things live in the clouds,
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Oh, I don't
I
care.
know, Stephanie.
Yeah. I've got Ring cameras. Anyone that works at Amazon can probably see everything I do. I don't even care.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like that's flirty.
Okay. I don't think flirting has to be physical, right?
It could be like a lingering gaze,
Yes,
like longer than you normally
sure.
would, or
Or
just being like, can't wait for you to
compliments.
get home.
That's
or,
right.
No.
Yes, there's the honest take.
That's okay.
I'm like having everyone define it. Yeah, everything you said.
We don't do
Not so much, but you know what? I'm not proud of it. I think recognizing it shows that, at least for me, that life is just so busy and moving so quickly. And so it's not that there's not time to do it, because I'm realizing that a lot of that is not just about these single one-off isolated gestures. It's like a space you're in physically, emotionally, mentally.
Yes.
Does he
right?
flirt with you? Does he try to flirt with you?
Yeah, I think he is more open to
that.
He does. He
Yeah.
does show like affection or say little things, or so he does. I think I have to do a better job of just like slowing down and being more present, and then I think those things would more organically flow.
You
instead
likely
of
have the
being
weight of
mom.
the family on you a
I
little
think
bit
it's
more.
that it's like your brain is always on like,
Yeah.
okay, we've got 20 more minutes, and then I need to put the chicken on it. I mean, like,
Correct.
you get it. And so sometimes it doesn't even give you the cognitive capacity to like really see this person in this moment, and to really, I know some people say like masculine, feminine energy, but to even like really sit in an energy where you're saying or do
The
something.
thing is
you know what I
this,
mean?
I find, and tell me if you guys feel this, there is a tendency after you've been married for so long to kind of forget, and you have to be intentional about not forgetting, but forgetting the person that you met and fell in love with. Because oftentimes when I look at Mike now, I see the dad who, has to do hard parenting things, and I see the guy that I see every single day and maybe take for granted a little bit. I try to force myself to go, look at him with the eyes that you looked at him when you first met and fell in love.
That's good.
And
That's
sometimes
good.
I forget. I don't know. Do you ever,
That's good.
Deanna?
I cheated. I emailed my husband right before, and I was like, "Do we flirt?" And
You've been cheating this whole show.
Yes, he said we're not always about that business, and I was like, "But now I'm second guessing. Like, but then are we always about business?" And then, but I do the same thing. Like, he probably gets so annoyed. I'm always like copping a feel of the bum.
Yeah.
I did it yesterday. For some reason, I get weird.
I
and
can't bend
rubbed
over in
my
our house
bum
to
on
pick
his
up
bum.
anything without him grabbing or
Yeah.
groping
Oh,
me.
well,
like,
That's how you do what you do. You know what I
Mike's
mean?
a groper too.
Yeah.
Mike's a groper.
but I will say, like, with what you're saying,
Are our interns horrified right now who are
Probably a
listening?
little
Like they're like
bit.
thinking,
They're like
do
fractions
our
of our
parents,
age.
do our parents do this
I have
stuff?
kids older
yes,
than
they
them.
do. Yes, they do is the answer.
They're back
over
there somewhere.
Yeah.
but with what you were
Bella and
saying,
Gracie.
I came into the relationship with a child, and my husband came into the relationship with a child. So we have never been single together. We came in with our own families and made a combined family. So, like, I still see him the same way. He's always been that hot dad to me, and I've
That's
always
great.
been like the hot mom, the MILF. He loves to say it's so weird. But
But
yeah,
it's
always
not
been that
I'd
way
like,
for
it's
us.
I get to. So you have to change the acronym to whatever that is.
It's the active mom. I like to.
Okay. I love that. I love that. And you know, something that goes along, I just feel like I can see such a difference. A little gesture with my husband goes such a long way. Like at the gym, we go to the gym every single morning. If I'm like, man, you look good. Your biceps are looking hot. I could just, it made that man's day. And then we have, you know, a nice day together. Like and it doesn't take much. Just I would say, don't forget to look at your man with the eyes that you looked at him with when you fell in love.
That's good.
I check my husband out all the time.
Yeah.
I'm
I
always
make
like,
mine
"He's
ask
so
where the
cute."
gym is. I like every time he's wearing like one of those like, white wife beater type shirts. I'm like, tell me where the gym is. He's like, it's over there. And he does like the fist thing, and I love the
bulging
And he thinks I'm joking, but I love it. Like, and he's not super
Yeah.
fit. It's just something about his shoulders and his arms.
Okay, what's
and I
your
like
favorite physical feature about your husband? Danielle. I love it. I'm like, Danielle.
Okay, this might be an odd one, but I'm thinking hands, and I know that may be kind of odd.
That's not odd.
Is that okay? I think hands or something about like good, strong hands. So I would say that one for me.
I like that answer.
My
Stephanie.
husband's bootylicious.
He's bootylicious.
He's bootylicious.
I'm not going to check later when I see him next time. So
I
that would
love
be
his
weird.
biceps.
I'll trust you. I'll
I
take
love
your
when
word
he
for that.
flexes, but yeah, he's got a great bum.
Deanna.
There's
Ryan's
an obvious
got-
one, but it's not safe.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Gracie,
eyes.
Bella, get out of here. I'm kidding.
Earmuffs, eyes.
Eyes. He does have
Oh,
nice
that's
eyes.
nice.
Mike, biceps, chest, all that.
The whole package.
He's always working on his fitness.
He is. He's so cute. Okay. Next one. Do you still go out on dates?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have like a rule? Because there are
we
people
have
who
too many kids to have rules.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just when Devin happens to be home and can babysit her, there's a family member available, and we don't think they're going to burn the house down. We do it, and then that is when I don't dress up, but I dress a little nicer. If you catch me in heels, it's usually on one of those types of nights where I know I'm just walking from like valet to a restaurant and I can sit. But yeah, I dress up a little bit. But we definitely try to have date nights, even if it's just going to the brewery and having a couple drinks, just us. Yeah, that's really important for us.
And what does a date night look like for you, Deanna?
It's usually going to a restaurant. Like we like to do the weekend thing because we are so grateful for having in-laws that live in the area who want to take our girls for a weekend. So we'll like go to a restaurant, hang out, and then, have some fun adult time.
I'm jealous.
Do you do it regularly, Danielle?
So
Date nights with two littles, because by the way,
I
Danielle
know,
has the youngest
yes.
children among us, so it's harder. We gotta
thank
give her a
you.
break.
Exactly, you get it.
I do. I remember.
So we weren't dating, and then my friend told me about alphabet dating. I don't know if you've heard of.
No.
So what it is every date you go on has to start with the next letter of the alphabet.
I've heard that. It's fun.
And they look like they're having a blast. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, we're going to do that. And so we made our rule that we'll alternate letters. And like he has the first half of the month and I have the second half of the month. So you have to plan it sometime within that time. And at first we were just like using the first letter of like restaurants. And I was like, okay, we're going to do more than eat. Okay. And so like when we had D, that was my letter. And so I was like, you know what? We're going to do DIY candles. And we went to Hyde Park and we
Cute.
made our
Love
candles.
that.
And it was really cute and it was fun. And we got to like talk while we were doing something. And
That's
so that has been
creative.
helping to keep us on track and to share new experiences with one another.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
We don't do it, guys. We don't date each other anymore.
You got to.
I
Well, do you
know.
want to?
Yes.
But like she said, with
I don't want to
alphabet
spend the
dating,
money at a
I
restaurant.
was going to ask
So
why.
fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
you know me, Deanna. I'm
If
like,
we
But you don't
I
have to. There's
cheat.
experiences. So if there's comedy clubs, there's lessons that you can take together. There's crafty places. There's beach picnics. There's river walk. There's so
picnic.
many
That's a good
things you
one.
can do
Yeah,
that are
you can
free
date
and
in your
cheap.
house.
Yeah.
Have the kids
Have
go
the
away.
kids go
That,
have
I
a
that I have heard
cook
of.
together. I love cooking together.
I don't think he'd be down for that one. But I like
the honesty.
yeah. I like the one because I have heard of like stay at home dates.
Yeah.
You send the kids away or those nights because mine are older now. Those nights when Daniela's out doing her thing with her sorority sisters and Mikey's with a friend.
Yep.
Do something romantic.
We did that during the
Have some
pandemic.
wine,
Yeah, you
get a
had to. You
game.
have
Yeah.
options then.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree because when you have that, you're forced to talk to each other, and just I don't know, those conversations make you closer. It doesn't even have to be the
if you-
physical stuff.
If you want to get
The
technical, though, you
conversations.
guys date every morning, like
We
making
do.
the plan
That's
to do
true.
something together, to go to the gym. That's a date.
But see, for
Stephanie,
me,
yes, we do, but we
I-
date with other people around. Is that okay?
Whatever you're into,
Yeah.
I don't judge.
I think for me, I think one of the things that's been helpful about alternating is because one time we were like, oh yeah, let's meet at this Mexican restaurant after work. And we have some time and my mom has the kids. And I showed up like dressed really nicely. And he was like in flip flops and khakis. I remember being so irritated. And I was like, I said a date. And he was like, well, yeah. So we had to have a conversation around that because I was trying to help him see that I need sometimes where I can wear something slinky, and feel womanly.
Yes.
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 And that's what I mean by date. But for him, it just means time together. And so it's like, you know
Okay.
what, we'll alternate.
But-
that way we can do what
Yeah.
feels good to you. And I
Do
can
you need him to dress up to make you feel like that's
On some of
you're
our
like you're on the
nights
same
out,
level?
You need to be on the same page.
On-
Going to the same
sometimes-
event.
Look, my husband makes me
Yes.
dress him. He's colorblind and has no fashion sense. I have to dress him.
Sometimes, yeah, but not because I need you to look this way for my eyes, but because it does something to the experience.
Yes, I
Because
agree
when
with
we were
you.
dating before,
I agree with you.
It felt like an occasion.
That's right.
So it
And
takes
maybe
us
if we did it
outside
at
of the
home,
flow of-
it wouldn't feel like a date.
I mean, whatever makes things accessible.
You could do
You
a
know?
pajama date and like just
And
create
with my new pajamas
with
that I
your
bought.
new
Yes.
sexy pajamas. Watch a romantic movie.
Okay, but I have a question. When you go out on your dates, wherever that may be, do you try to avoid not talking about your children?
We can't.
We tried that
tried it,
early
don't
on,
work.
and it's impossible for us.
I try to avoid it because I need to be like stimulated in other ways. I do.
Yeah.
I need you to bring me something interesting you saw. What did you learn? Like something funny.
It's literally our kids. His job, which is great, but I can only hear about so much,
Yes.
for politics. And honestly, like
do you
I
do
get
that
so
to yourself?
passionate about politics that I'm like, let's just talk about the kids.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Here's our next. Do you still? Do you still feel madly in love? Madly crazy in love with your husband?
Depends on the
It depends on the day.
Everybody's quiet with us.
I do. I'll start.
No one
I
wants
do.
to go first.
It's a different kind of love because I think when that's starting out 20 years ago and it's all butterflies and infatuation and you're learning about each other every day, every moment you spend together, there's something new. And now it's this comfortable, cozy love that's like a warm blanket that I can just wrap around me and I don't have questions with and I don't have doubts with and I just know it's there and it makes me feel good. So yeah, definitely madly in love, but it's a love that has morphed and changed and maybe it will again, but it's there and I'm deep within it. And I think he is too. He better be. He's scared me enough where he wouldn't admit otherwise.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't think Mike is scared of me, but I agree
I
with
can
that
help. I'll teach you.
in the sense that we've been through everything over 23 years. Everything that people can go through, we have been through it and worked hard to come out on the other side stronger than ever. And so what I've realized being married this long is I used to think I was in love with him when I met him and when I married him. I realize now I didn't know what love was. That was not love. That was surface stuff that I thought was deep. I'm in the deep now. I am in the deep feelings. Like he's my family. We're like bonded forever and ever and nothing can tear us apart. And it's like the most unbelievable thing to accomplish in life, to have somebody in your life that makes you realize this is the definition of love. So yes, I am, but not how I started.
Yeah, I love that. And the theme of what I'm hearing from both of you, expressing where you are is kind of like this constance. Like, you know, you're saying he's this warm blanket, he's there. You're saying that, you know, we're family now, we're deep in it. There's a love where it's now like this constant. You're just this constant in my life. And so, you know, for me, I think a lot of the love is wrapped around like the partnership. Like, look at what we've built, look at what we have as a unit, and there's love and respect for that. I think sometimes maybe there are these moments. So like that whole like madly in love all the time, infatuation in the clouds thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't always
that's
like
not
my
realistic.
husband.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
always like
It
him,
might
but I
be
always
that's
love
not
him.
real.
It might
That's
be seeing
fairy
like a
tale.
tender moment he has with our son and kind of like, you know,
Yes.
looking at
My
him and watching, you know.
husband as a father is the sexiest thing. Watching him with our boys, doing sports, with our daughter, cracking jokes. Like, I mean, it's cliche, but it is so hot, like to me. Like he's
Hot dad.
Yeah, like
Yep.
it's just there's something about a man that takes care of his family and his kids that I find so
It's the
attractive.
totality of all of it. To watch them be a father, to be the person that you need them to be,
And
to
watching
go
him
through the
get
trenches,
better
like
at
you
it.
said, exactly, and to grow. That, yeah, I think
And
you
it's
can be
hot.
madly in love with the person you've been with for 23 years, 8 years, 12 years. But then at the same time, like again, you said there are times when you're like, I don't like you.
I don't like
love
him.
you, but I don't like you right now. And that happens.
Yeah,
in marriage.
I there's probably a couple times throughout the day where I'm like, I don't like this man, but yeah,
The only thing,
always love him.
The only thing I'll say is that I think you do have to be careful because you have this deep bond, this love that is based on having this life together and not necessarily, you know, the physical attraction that it was at the beginning. You have to be careful that you don't neglect that other part of it because
Yeah.
like there are times when I feel like I wish he would, and he, like I said, he's a groper, he shows affection, but I wish he would like give me more compliments or not talk to me like he talks to me like it's just any other day. Like I feel a little bit, and I'm sure he does too, taken for granted sometimes.
Well, because you guys are focused on the kids and everything and jobs and everything.
Do you ever
Go
feel
on
that
a
way?
date, Maggie.
Yeah, go on a date.
Then he can
I think it's like
shower you
kind
with
of what you said of like
compliments.
keeping your eyes attuned to him in a certain way so that you can still kind of flirt and see him in the same way. But I share that frustration, and we've had that talk, and there's something familiar about being comfortable and being so relaxed around each other and safe. I think it speaks to a certain
Yes.
safety and ease. But that part of me that is a woman is not going away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going away. So to have somebody speak to that, affirm that, and see that, like, you're the person in my life who covers that ground.
That's right.
So I can be mom, I can be partner, I can be businesswoman, but you're the only person in my life who's supposed to be able to activate that side of me where I feel womanly and I feel seen in that way. And so I need you to do that.
I need you to do that.
You know?
Which brings me to maybe the hardest do you still question
God,
of all.
of these have been hard.
No, no, you ain't seen nothing yet, girl. All right, our last 5 minutes, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there, people. Do you still, and how often? I'm kidding. Do you still get out of here, Bella and Gracie? Do you still make intimacy a priority in your marriage?
Why didn't I get to preview these questions? Did I get to preview
Yeah,
these?
she sent these to you. You were pressed. You just didn't read it.
Yes, it is a priority. It is. Kids are number one. Keeping the household number two. Number three is let's go. Sex. Let's go. It. Come on, that's a part of a marriage and a relationship, and it is very important. And you know what we've gotten to in our lives?
Tell me.
Scheduling.
Oh,
Stephanie.
Well, what's your day? What's your day or days?
Wednesday, Saturday.
Wednesday, Saturday.
My girl, 2 times a week.
Can I tell you something? Our kids the other day asked us.
I'm dying.
Do you guys still
Yeah, my
have
kids.
sex?
My kids because
Our kids asked us, and so they're older. So I answered, and they said, "How often?"
Oh,
And I'm like, I don't want to get that specific
you wanna know
with you
where?
right now. But the only thing
for you.
But the only thing I'm going to tell you is that there's nothing wrong with it. And in fact, for a healthy marriage, you should be having sex weekly.
we are so
I am not going to tell you
physical.
how many times a week because that would be too much information.
We are
but
so
they were
physical, but we don't get to.
horrified.
Yeah.
Horrified.
Yeah, we don't get to. We're very physical. My daughter thinks we have this raging like sex life because there are times where like I'm goofy. I'll do the, dirty dancing run up to him and jump on and stuff just out of the blue, or I'll wrap my legs around and we'll put you on the counter and we'll kiss. And my daughter's like, oh my gosh. So they have this perception that we are just all.
You have to show affection.
But the reality is
Like
we
kissing
don't.
and holding
We
hands.
try, but my kids have a sixth sense for when it's going down and they knock on the door every single time.
Wait, you don't lock the door?
The door's locked. We have a fingerprint. You can't even get in without putting your fingerprint.
God.
And they will knock on the door and instantly takes me out of it. Or they'll go to the game room and blast Fortnite. And I can't concentrate because I hear. So we try. My husband, I love him, and as hot as he is, the poor man is so deprived. Like we just need a babysitter that'll come in for 15 minutes. We don't need a lot. Give me 15 minutes of quality time, and we're happy. But we don't even get that.
Quality,
it's hard.
not
It's hard.
quantity.
Yeah. But 15 minutes, I'm good.
They're getting a babysitter so they can have sex. I have heard it all.
There's no other options.
Not the
I have
first
too many
time, I
kids,
assume.
and like I said, they hear something that the temperature shifts, the air pressure drops, and they're like, "Mom is about to be in a good mood. We gotta ruin it." And they knock on the damn door every time.
Stop ruining Mama's good mood. Okay, somebody has been incredibly quiet.
I feel like the more important question.
No.
Right?
Do you make it a priority? That's the only question.
I think affection is so important. And
It
I
is.
think
I
that
agree.
Connecting is so important. And I think most importantly that having conversations like this. So that
That's a big fat no.
No, that's
She's a businesswoman and diplomatic, and she's trying not to put her
duckless
business
and
out there, and
bombing
I
and
understand
weaving
it.
But I
and
will tell you
dodging.
this, it has been helpful to talk to friends about it because sometimes you don't know what's normal,
Correct.
what's not.
There's no such thing
There's
as
no such
normal.
thing.
Libido,
It's
as
whatever
your health
works
and
for you.
hormone, as your health and
Yep.
hormones change, libido,
Well,
and,
yes.
and you have young kids. Wait, you guys still are? Well, we're not.
Yes.
You are,
Yeah.
so to kind of have people who you can have conversations to know, oh, am I letting something get so take up so much of my time that I am pulling away. I didn't have that wake up call until friends told me.
Yes.
You know, so I like that this conversation's coming up to kind of
Yes,
be
there's a
nosy about
season
what you
for
guys got going
everything.
on.
And in your
If we-
20s, you're going hard. And then your 30s, I think things slow down. And then your 40s, right before Perry comes in, things start to get
Okay,
better.
I
It's
actually-
the prime. I'm in my prime.
I
I'm
was
in
gonna
my
say, I
50s,
have
and
read
it's
that a
not as
woman's
easy anymore.
at,
But
like at your 40s, I've heard that's when a woman's
Your
peak
husband's
in
going to
that
thank
area.
us for having this conversation.
peeking.
Yeah, he's going to be like, thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Tell her. Tell her, preach.
there you go.
listen, I loved every answer that you all gave and how open you all were. This was one of my favorites. So much fun. You gotta be real.
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
keep it real. All right. Do you still episode 2 coming soon? Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Good job.
Where are your